this the girl?
Joanna Fletcher, daughter of Aaron and Matilda Fletcher, now deceased.
Hi, I'm Sophia Jessica, and this is Angel, and welcome to the Fan Carpet.
So it is an absolute pleasure to speak to you. So if we go back to the beginning, was there a defining moment for you to get into the industry?
So I was a welder, a builder, an engineer, qualified in those skills. I was living in Cornwall at the time, working at a place called Bodmin. And I used to go back to Yorkshire for Christmas to be with my mom and my brother and my sister.
Mm-hmm.
My stepmother lived in Cornwall, where I lived. And I just said to my mom one day, I'm not happy. I'm not sure what I want to do with my life. I just feel that I don't feel fulfilled. I just don't feel happy. And she said, well, what did you love at school? What's your passion? What do you love doing? And I mentioned acting. I've only done it once or twice at school. It was nothing special, but I remember being able to just get into using my imagination and escape for a little while. And that's where she just said to me, well, why don't you look into it? I had no idea where to start. And I did an access course in English and maths just to get back into education. And it was a very, very, very tough time. It wasn't easy to change your life completely around and to do something completely different. And then I went to college. I went to Arden School of Theatre. I ended up with 6 distinctions. I think the real moment that I realized I wanted to be an actor, I did a performance of Shylock, Merchant of Venice, the monologue, in front of all the other students in the class. And both the tutors, I can't remember the names at the time, they were just blown away by it. And I realized then that maybe I had something. And I think that was also a defining moment for me in terms of thinking, I love this. I could do this. I've got the talent to do this. And they believed in me. I ended up with 6 distinctions. And then I went to university and did a performing arts degree in Leicester. But my mom was the person who, the defining moment was her saying to me, well, what do you want to do? What do you love? What's your passion? And that's where it started. And just to add as well, Mark, I always thought I was going to be a professional footballer. As long as I remember, the photos from my childhood, I always had a football. And then from the age, when I was about 15, I was kind of sat down and told, you're not going to make it as a professional footballer. And that was the end of that. So, and I'm happy with that now. I mean, it was very disappointing for me at the time. I felt I had plenty of time. But I have my mum to thank for giving me the access to look at something else and something that's passionate to me and that I love doing.
Yeah. But at such a young age, that's got to be quite a blow to then. It's like to think that your career path is going to go one way with the football, and then be told you're not going to do it. And then you have to pivot.
Basically.
Yeah. Well, with what they earn, with what footballers earn, it's like. I mean, can it not? Is it not a proper job at this point? I don't know. Because they earn quite a lot.
Ridiculous the amount of money that they make. But it wasn't about the money for me. I just loved football. Yeah. I still do love football, but I don't play anymore.
Okay. That's cool.
Scared of getting injured, to be honest with you. If I'm on set and I get injured, it doesn't look good.
Yeah. No, of course, yeah. You have to protect yourself at this point, because I mean, if something goes wrong on a set, then it's shut down for like days or weeks. Absolutely.
You got to look after yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah, or could be months. I mean, I remember, I think it was one of the Maze Runner films, Dylan O'Brien got injured and they had to shut it down. Or no, he got injured, but they were able to film other scenes. So they kept it on track, but they were able to film other things without him to keep it on track. So, and like Harrison Ford, I think he got involved in a plane crash or something while they were filming Star Wars. So they had to film around him.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But you have to look after yourself. So what can you tell us about Witch, and what was it about this story that made you want to tell it? And obviously, what was it about Marc that spoke to you as a performer?
What can I tell you about Witch? Um, I definitely, I don't know if you agree with me on this, Mark, but I definitely think you need to watch Witch twice.
Yeah.
There is a lot of layers within the film, and that's within the storyline, and that's down to Craig Hinde, Marc Zammit, and
Mm,
David McLean, the story consultant. They've created an amazing story. It's also the roots of the story are based on the subject of paramnesia, which is something that Craig Hinde, I don't know if he studied or read about at college. So it's loosely based on paramnesia. Now, I wrote down what paramnesia is. I'll just read this out to you, Mark.
sure.
It's basically memory-based delusion or confabulation, or an ability to distinguish between real and fantasy memories. Um, I think that's absolutely fascinating.
That is fascinating.
And what was it that made me want to tell the story? Well, I don't know if you know this, Mark, but I was initially asked to self-tape for the part of William,
Okay.
and they were blown away by the part of William, but they felt they needed someone younger, which eventually was Ryan Spong playing William, who
Mm-hmm.
did an amazing job. He was great, lovely to work with. And then they kept getting back to me, Mark and Craig, and saying, "Look, you know, we're looking into this in a different way now. We're thinking of changing the story, and we're thinking about a character for you called Thomas." So I think at the time Thomas was not such a defining role in the story, but it was just another character. But then they decided that Thomas would be the central character, and they would create the story all around him. Um, for me, what made me want to tell the story is when they spoke about Thomas, it was the subtext behind the story. Um, Thomas was deceitful. Thomas had secrets. The choices that he made, the dilemmas that he had, um, the the underlying morality in the story, what he's doing, these innocent victims being killed, you know, is this right or wrong, and taking the audience on this journey. And I felt that this all added dimensions to the character, and along with the themes like fantasy, sci-fi, this project just drew me in, because what it's doing is it's challenging the audiences to think beyond the ordinary, and that's what made me want to tell the story.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a fantastic film. I really enjoyed it. I also like the fact that the set feels lived in,
I
and that.
do know, Mark, just to tell you something else about Witch as well. You probably know this from Sarah, but it was filmed on the same set as The Witcher.
Mhm.
I think season 4 of The Witcher. It wasn't 1, 2, or 3. And also, I do know when we arrived on set, Last Kingdom, I don't know if it's a TV series or a film, they had just been filming there as well. But I do know as well that the crew, they made a real effort to make it looked lived in, and yeah,
Mm.
epic.
Yeah, it looks incredible. It's incredible. And quite a big get for independent production.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
And
So
you know as well that we filmed in lockdown in the UK.
mm,
We were in lockdown. Budapest wasn't in lockdown; they were just coming out of lockdown. Did you know that?
no, but
Yeah.
that doesn't surprise me because Europe had their stuff together, as did other parts of the world, like not America, obviously, yeah, like Australia had their stuff together, New Zealand, because they were already opening when everyone was closing. So
It was a crazy time, wasn't it?
it was, and we thought it was only going to be 2 weeks, and that ended up being like 3 years. Um, Crazy. So what's it mean for you to be a storyteller and tell stories in this way?
For me, God, these are good questions. Storytelling is about building a genuine connection with the audience, um, making them feel emotionally invested in the journey. It's about inspiring, informing, and creating an experience that stays with the audience long after the story ends. What a privilege for me to take them on a journey, transport them to somewhere new, and for them to have the space, the time, the access to access their imaginations. I think that to me is storytelling, and what a privilege it was for me. Wonderful, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it goes all the way back to like caveman days, where with paintings on the wall and like
Telling
stories
stories
around a
then, weren't we?
campfire.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we were telling stories then during
Hmm.
prehistoric times.
Yeah, yeah, and and we've all done it as kids when we're out out in and like with campfires and stuff with our friends, like telling ghost stories around a campfire with a torch under our chin and stuff like that. We've all done it. Um, yeah. So do you have any memories from filming which that stand out to you, something you won't forget?
Um, has to be the first day. The first day. Um, just arriving on set and seeing these massive buildings. I mean, you weren't just looking at a door from here, from this height. You were looking at a door like that. The doors were so high, the buildings were so high, the
Mhm.
courtyard, everything was just huge. It was incredible. The cast and crew, we arrived on set the first day, and we were just absolutely in awe. I think that's something I'll never forget.
Yeah,
Um, I first met Marc on the screening of Adventure Boys with Howard J. Ford, who I think you've also interviewed.
I have. He's a good
And
friend of mine as well.
yeah, lovely guy,
Hmm.
tremendous energy. And we had a premiere of Adventure Boys in Cannes. I met Marc for the first time, and we got on really well. He's a very easy, likable guy, very down to earth, and he complimented me on my acting and the performance. Playing him as a comedy character, and he kept in touch with me. We stayed in touch, and I always remember Marc that he during lockdown he would message me and say, "Hey, if you ever need me, ring me. I'll always be here for you." And I thought, wow, you hardly know me. This is incredible. And I think that never left me. That kind of kindness and thought never left me, because it was a tough time, Mark, wasn't it?
It
It
was,
really
yeah,
was, and
it
I'm sure he
was.
was going through a hell of a lot as well. And we kept in touch. And when he asked me to be in this film, the themes horror, medieval fantasy horror, and telling me about that I've got this character, I've got this backstory and this subtext and everything else that I've shared with you, it was
Hmm.
just a brainer for me. And I wanted to be involved, and I wanted to work with Marc, and I wanted to work with Craig, and them two work really well together. They're very different, but they work really well together. And I think Craig's the kind of it's his original story, and Marc's more the sort of he's very in control and sets, isn't he? He makes you feel very calm. He's
Yeah.
very ease and effortless. And I think they work really well together. And Craig's kind of the genius. He's got an amazing mind. He really has. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I had the privilege of being on the set with Marc on a few occasions for Jitters. I was doing the behind the scenes for him, doing the filming of the behind the scenes. So the first couple, we were in the second one we were in the arcade, and the third one was we did a big fire set, did a big fire stunt on set in a warehouse area like out the way. I think it was up in
Oh, the
High
Burning Man scene.
up in Haynes, was up in Hines, I think it was. And I just remember like everyone's there just to like do the same thing and like just work together, and like there's no arguments, no nothing. Everyone's just there to muck in and do what they're there to do. And Mark's just there at the helm, like, and he keeps everything like everything on time as much as he can, but he doesn't raise his voice. He's calm, collected. He knows what he wants. He knows the shots that he wants, and he just goes for it. And I mean, back in the day of Homeless Ashes, when he was releasing the book, I actually like kicked in some like financial support for that book back then, and we've just stayed. Well, I mean, obviously, and we stayed in touch before that because we had met before Rain Dance, but they were premiering Homeless Ashes at Rain Dance. And
Yeah,
so we interviewed him there at Rain Dance, and we've just stayed in contact. And yeah,
fantastic.
he's a good egg. He's a good bloke. I really
Yeah,
enjoy
he is a good
what he
egg.
does, and yeah, he's brilliant. He recently got married as well. His wife's lovely. His wife's lovely. You know, yeah,
Yeah, I
I've
was
got
meant to be
not.
going, but I was next door literally. I was in Poland and Czech,
Ah,
but I was at a wedding literally the day before. I mean, what are
mhm,
the chances of that? And we actually talked about logistics of
yeah,
me getting over to attend as well, but we just couldn't do it.
yeah.
It's
It's
impossible.
a shame, yeah. But yeah, but yeah, I've got nothing but love for the guy. He's great. What does the future hold for Witch? And do you feel there's more story to tell within the world that you've helped craft?
Wow, these are good questions. There, immediately after we filmed Witch, me and Mark went to Malta, which was a beautiful experience. And he showed me his hometown. And he also talked back then about um, a sequel to Witch called Unravel that was going to be filmed in Malta. And he explained a bit of the story and some of the characters that were coming back. And I thought it sounded absolutely fascinating. I don't know what's happening with it now, but never say never. So yeah, a possible sequel called Unravel, which is on hold at the moment, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Well, yeah, hopefully I want to see that film. Uh,
I think also, Mark, just to add, if you remember the ending of which with Ella Starbuck,
mhm.
you know that could possibly you can see there that that could possibly lead to a sequel.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And she's lovely as well.
Yeah,
I had the pleasure of interviewing her not so long ago, and yeah, she's lovely.
yeah,
She would I told her in the interview that she had been on my list of people to speak to since she was announced as Rebecca Gold for season two, which is now being made into a film. But yeah, so yeah. And I like Sarah, so I've got nothing but love for Sarah as well. So you know, and yeah, it's all good. Um, are there any other aspects of the industry that you'd like to pursue, or do you feel you've hit your stride now?
no, I don't. I mean, to quote a line from, have you ever seen the Rocky Balboa film? Do you like
Hmm.
Rocky films?
Yeah, yeah.
When he's standing in front of stood in front of the boxing committee, and he's trying to convince them why he wants his license back, and he says, "I've still got stuff in the basement." I really can relate to that line. I feel I'm just getting started. I've only been in the film business for 7 years, which was when Howard gave me my chance with Adventure Boys. Up until then, it was theatre,
Hmm.
voiceover, murder mysteries, corporate work, music videos, short films. So I feel I'm just getting started. It's the second chapter for me. Um,
Hmm.
so in terms of genre, I would say drama,
Yeah.
definitely drama. Maybe a drama series, maybe sort of delve more into TV work now. But
Okay.
I do find myself getting dragged towards horror still. I must admit. Yeah,
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, and I know that you've got like a cameo in Jitters that I wasn't there
yeah.
for.
I'm
Um,
Bone Keeper.
yeah. Oh, I'm Bonekeeper. Nice.
Bone Keeper. Yeah.
Reuniting with Howard. Awesome.
Yeah, that'll be my fourth film with Howard, Mark.
Okay. Awesome.
that'll be my fourth movie with Howard, which is
Nice.
wonderful. It's a
Yeah.
pleasure. And he just gets in touch with me out of the blue and said, "Got a role for you," and I'm just, yep, I'm there. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. I'm
Um,
sure it's really well.
when it comes to like your filmmaker friends that just phone you out of the blue and say that they've got a role for you, it's got to be quite humbling for you,
Yeah,
being that they've thought of you for this role.
yeah, yeah. Very grateful, Mark, that Howard feels that way about me and gives me a lot of time as well. We
Yeah.
speak sometimes on the phone. I think I think the reason for that is first and foremost, um, uh, maybe is I think we're friends first.
Hmm.
I don't sort of ever nagging for a part or anything, and I'm the same with Mark as well. We're friends first, and I think that helps. I think I think they're both like genuine people. I don't think they're like people with egos. I don't think they can work with people like that, and that's not a judgment on anyone, but yeah, I think they're just like genuine people, down to earth people, and I think that's maybe what helps me.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have a dream role or dream genre that you'd like to tackle other than drama?
Well, two of my favourite films are When Saturday Comes.
Uh-huh.
Well, Heat's probably one of my favourite films as well, but When Saturday Comes with Sean Bean.
Hmm.
It's a football film. He gets trials. He gets an opportunity to play for Sheffield United. It's a drama, and I would love that because that's just perfect for me. It's football and drama.
Hmm.
The other film was a film called ID. Reece Dinsdale, who was in Emmerdale, and I thought he was amazing in that performance. He plays a policeman, but he has to go undercover and be part of the Chelsea, uh, um, the Chelsea.
Hooliganism, yeah. The
The what,
Chelsea
sorry?
hooliganism.
Yeah, and he has to sort of
And
like
he
be
it
part
doesn't
of
he
that at the
it's
end of
been a
it.
while since I've seen that, but doesn't he get lost in the role? And
Yeah, he shaves his head and everything,
yeah, and he actually
and
becomes one. Yeah.
yeah, and I would love a part like that. Those two combined,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think drama is going to be the way forward for me. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, look forward to that. All right. So who inspires you in the industry?
I don't know if inspire Christopher Walken. I think he's an exceptional actor, and the thing with Christopher Walken is you can watch him, and he might look away and not even be connecting with the actor or the script, but you just find him riveting.
Mm,
Everything that he does for a reason. He's so charismatic, the way he speaks, the way he moves, the way he acts. There's no one like him. He's very unique, and also Sylvester Stallone. I've been kind of brought up with Sylvester Stallone, the Rocky films, the underdog. He was actually born with a speech impediment. He had a paralysis of one side of his face. That's why he's got that slurred speech. I'm very inspired by people that have overcome adversity and overcome obstacles in their life. And the funny thing is, Mark, that the reason he had slurred speech is because during the delivery, the birth, he was pulled out by the forceps, and there was complications. I too, during my delivery, was pulled out by the forceps, and so I walked on my toes from the age of 0 to 21. I still walk on my toes a bit now, but and I also got bullied during childhood, and so did
mm,
Sylvester Stallone. So he inspires me. Okay, that's where the comparisons end. I mean, he's a massively successful actor, but he inspires me. I
mm,
think he's an amazing. And when you think of that monologue in First Blood at the end of First Blood, exceptional. I'm surprised he didn't win an Oscar for that.
yeah,
I just think he's a very underrated actor, and Copland as well. The part where he plays Freddy,
yeah.
and those are two actors that really inspire me.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, one of my favorite films with Stallone is, I mean, I love his action roles, but one of my favorite films with him was this Escape to Victory,
Oh yeah, amazing film.
which just proves how good an actor he actually is.
Yeah.
And because obviously he's one of those ones that gets bogged down in the mythology and the legacy of everything he's done. But if you go back to when he was like before Rocky, and I think it was before Rocky anyway.
Boys from
But
the sorry, I'm trying to think what it was. What was he in before that?
I think it
Before
was.
the Rocky films.
I think it was Escape to Victory, but I could be wrong. That might have been because I know that was his first writing and directing. But yeah, but he's just a tremendous actor. He's like a great presence on screen.
Yeah.
Um,
He
and
was also in Nighthawks, wasn't he? Do you remember Nighthawks?
yeah, I do.
Great.
Yeah, was absolutely. So with the popularity of streaming services, and which is obviously now on two of the biggest ones, being Paramount and Shudder, what do you think the future of cinema is?
Oh God. I think the future of cinema will be a lot more selective. I'm thinking of um, for large scale blockbusters like Leonardo DiCaprio's film, for instance. Is it One Battle After Another?
Yeah.
I think films like that will still be big and will get big audiences. I went to see Longlegs, Nicolas Cage, and I remember seeing it, and I think it was only after a week of opening. There was hardly anybody in the audience,
Mm,
and that scared me a bit for indie films. Um, Going off on a slight tangent, I miss the days of going to blockbusters and meeting complete strangers and recommending films to them and having, oh, you've got 2 days to watch a video.
yeah.
I love those days. I think um, I think things are going to have to change. When I go to the Odeon now, I find it so soulless. I find it quite empty and soulless. I like the cinemas now where they've got a bit of character. It's an old building. It's got a bit of character. And I went to see Alien Romulus, the 4DX experience, and I think that's maybe where cinema could go in terms of getting audiences back in to watch films with the immersive experience of the seats, the motion seating, and the winds, the water, the scents, and just have a more of immersive experience. But I do find at the moment cinemas like the Odeon quite soulless and empty, and I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a place for the big scale large blockbusters. However, I believe that niche independent films will continue to thrive and through screenings and audiences who appreciate sort of like the outside mainstream.
Yeah. And they need to get the if they want cinemas to thrive, they need to get those budgets under control, because like 400 million on a film and expecting to get 1 billion back, it's just not sustainable anymore. Like, I don't even think it ever was, but it's just not sustainable.
Yeah, I agree. And I think yeah, these big budget films and these big sequels, I think that's why I love Witch as well. I just think it's more about the storyline,
Mm,
and the general consensus is with regards to the reviews so far. It's been out about a year and a half now. Is that some reviews say we didn't quite get the execution, but other reviews, Guardian for instance, they say we tried something new. We've tried something new, and that could be applauded,
mm,
definitely, or should be applauded. We've tried
absolutely.
something new.
Absolutely. It's a brilliant film. I think it's a brilliant film.
Oh, great, Mark. It's good to hear.
Yeah.
I think it's really great. Just going back to Witch as well. That
Yeah.
think about a lot of indie films now. They get released on Amazon Prime, Sky
Yeah, yeah.
Store, YouTube, and Paramount Plus
Hmm.
bought it.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
wanted it, and then Shudder. I think Shudder for me, one of my favorite films on Shudder is Late Night with the Devil. Have you seen that?
No. I've heard
Oh, it's
about it
a
though.
fantastic film. It's
Yeah.
really, really good. And I think Shudder's got it's a bit more of a niche for horror films, isn't it? So for
Yes.
Witch to be on there is pretty special. I don't know many films in the indie world that get on Shudder and get on Paramount Plus. So yeah,
Yeah. Neither
again,
do I.
there's obviously there are some pretty bad reviews, I must admit, but there's obviously something there that people are seeing, and they just think there is real value in this, and I think it's the story. I think they spent the best part of 6 months on the story.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, it
Starting
shows. I
again,
mean,
changing
yeah.
it. Sorry.
Well, it definitely shows. I mean, and like, to like, one of the what there are many things going for Witch, but one of the many things going for it is the fact that they were filming that you filmed it on the same set as The Witcher. It's like, I mean, that doesn't happen if if it's just a nothing burger, you know.
Yeah.
Because like they, like Netflix wouldn't give their set, like, I mean, obviously you're paying for it, paying for the set, but they wouldn't share their set with something that is nothing, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that, Mark. Yeah.
Yeah, because there has to be value in it, because obviously why would they know what they're doing as well. Like Netflix are just incredible too. um like one of the biggest films of the year. I mean, I watched it again last night. I think I've seen that film like 20 times at this point. K-pop Demon Hunters, and that was bought by Netflix like from Sony. I think they spent like 20 million on it. Look how big that film's become.
What's it called again?
K-pop Demon Hunters. It's an animated film from
Oh,
Sony Animation. It's brilliant. It's got a musical aspect to it, but the songs are great, and they just
yeah.
really they just had one of the chief songs in the film is called Golden, and they just did a live performance of it with the actual singing voices from the film. So, and that was incredible. And like the songs like gone double platinum, and it's like really popular. You probably heard it and don't realize you heard it.
Yes. Yes.
Because like I was in Greg's a couple of weeks ago, and it was being played on the radio.
Brilliant.
So uh, yeah, but yeah, I absolutely adore that film. um yeah. Um, yeah, and I'm looking forward to where it goes next. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you working on next that you can tell us about?
Well, I mentioned earlier that I seem to be leaning more into horror. Um, there's a few films in the pipeline and I've been cast. I don't know if you've heard of R.I.P. Man. R.I.P. Man with Jamie Langlands, and there's also R.I.P. Man 2 with Jamie Langlands. That's going to be the sequel. I've just been cast in that.
Nice. Okay.
I think what I like about this is it's local actors and
Mm-hmm.
a local production, and I think Brighton's becoming a bit of a thriving scene for films and indie films, which is
Cool.
great. And I'm all over this because I think it's a chance to develop my skill set, and you're only as good as your last movie. There's also another film, Be Style, another horror film, feature film, and that's directed by a gentleman called Christian Paris, um, who is a director I've never worked before. And again, that's going to be in Brighton, so I'm really happy about that. There's a couple of productions that I don't know which way they're going to go, but they might. I think there's NDAs in place. I'm not allowed to mention them.
That's
And then
okay.
an audio drama that I am allowed to talk about, which I'm excited about. And I don't know, Mark, if you've heard about the Moors murderers, Ian Brady and Myra Hindley. Have you heard? You heard of them?
Yeah, they ring a bell. Is that your next project?
Well, it's an audio drama, and it's basically Fred Harrison, he wrote the story My Secret Murders. The audio drama is called My Secret Murders, produced by Simon Moorhead, and I'm going to be playing an interview director, interviewing the real Fred Harrison, who was a journalist reporter who befriended Ian Brady at the time. They sent letters back and forth to each other because Ian Brady was in prison and he wanted to move to Broadmoor to a psychiatric hospital. And in a nutshell, if Fred Harrison hadn't have intervened, there would have been two bodies on the police missing persons list forever. But
Mm.
he befriended Ian Brady, those two bodies were revealed. And I'm going to be interviewing him, and that's going to be an audio drama that will be on Radio 4 and other sort of platforms.
Okay.
So that'll be quite exciting for me and quite very sort of privileged position. Yeah.
Nice, awesome. Sounds interesting. So just finally, where can we find you online to keep up with everything you're doing?
IMDb, Twitter, Instagram.
Nice. Okay.
www.russellshawactor.com.
Nice.
I'm also on LinkedIn, Spotlight, and also oh my god, I can't think of the other one now. That's that kind of links them all together. I forgot what it's called. Is it Linktree?
Yeah, Linktree. Yeah, Linktree is
yeah,
there
and
you
also
can list all
YouTube.
your links.
You can find me on YouTube as well, Russell Shaw Actor VO. And I've just remembered there is one question I want to ask you. So at the end of when we wrapped on Witch, Craig Hinde, the producer, came up to us, all the cast and crew, we were all in a circle, and he said, "Right, guys, well done, amazing, but tell me, who was the witch?" And if I say none of us got it right, that might give you a bit of a clue. Yeah, who was the witch? And I think that's something that we wanted to, at the time, have a bit of a tagline going and get people to sort of like spend time debating who was the witch. Craig Hinde is a bit of a genius, you know, he is. The book itself that what would you call it? A totem?
Yeah, the time.
Yeah. He designed that all himself. That is all his scriptures and writing, and it's just absolutely incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. In terms of who is the witch, maybe Thomas, because it'd be way too easy to say it's the I can't remember her name, but the one that gets she gets possessed and she decapitates her parents. It'd be way too easy to say her. But yeah, gut instinct, I would say Thomas, because it all revolves around him and his journey. It'd be too obvious to say Sarah's character. Again, I can't remember her name in the film.
Twyla.
Yeah, it'd be too obvious to say her. But then it could also be, here's an out there one, it could be her daughter. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. There are a multitude of ways it could go. Yeah, but those are my thoughts.
Do I say whether you're right or wrong?
It's up to you.
All I will say is I think the story's genius. So yeah, I think
I do too.
It's not as obvious as that. Believe me, it's quite incredible.
Yeah.
None of us got it right. The whole cast and crew, none of us got it right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's one of those films that doesn't necessarily need to have a definitive answer, because everyone's going to take something different from it. Like if you're just looking for an easy person to blame, then it'll be the one that decapitated her parents. If it's something a bit more if you want something with a bit more of a whodunit there, then you may go after Lila, or it could be her daughter. But then there's a whole self-fulfilling prophecy thing. So I don't know. Yeah. There are many ways that it could go, and I just look forward to whatever Craig does, what Craig and Marc do, because they're extraordinary filmmakers. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time. And yeah, I love The Witch, and I look forward to what you do next.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Marc. A real privilege.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram for more content. Bye for now.
Is it time to play?
It's the
only tool we have to save her.
You show what you can do. I hear a siren. Maybe you were wrong about me. I'm dangerous and still.
Why don't you give me a sign, like the sea that leaves a trail along that shore? It's not your problem, it's mine. Everybody thinks that I'm okay. Sometimes I think I am too. I'm on the outside looking in, I'm waiting for the shockwaves to begin. Oh, won't you let me hold you for one time? Just a rainy day in a London cafe, a London cafe. So give me one last serenade. Say to me, or swear with me till the night turns into day. And it was a shame when daylight faded, because we didn't notice at all.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.